Thank you very much. And so first, just thanks for the introduction. And my name is Qin GAO, and I came from the engineering school actually, so Department of Industry Engineering. And my background is human fact and human computer in action. So today I'm very honored to join this great event of global research in design innovation. So maybe I start with my presentation with a question. So what is innovation? By what innovation, what do we mean? So simply speaking, well, there may be many definitions, but put it simply, it's just that we have created a novel and useful solution to satisfy an unmet need. And this unmet need, actually, in many cases, is the real start point of our innovation. And we want to ensure that our search for or understanding of these unmet needs is to ensure it's real, it's authentic. It's nothing that our designers or engineers, we invented in our minds. Because I have a hammer, okay, so I see every problem as a nail. And so how we get this understanding of the, oh, maybe it's here, of this kind of unmet needs. The search for this such unmet needs can be based on your personal observation or certain inspiration, but mostly it can also be done through a systematic effort. Okay. According to Peter Drucker, who is a very famous guru in the field of management science, and he believed that companies can search for innovative opportunities in a systematic way by analyzing opportunities from 7 areas. And out of the 7 areas, well, demographics or the change in demographic trends is considered the most reliable because we all know that demographic change, like age change in our population, it's very predictable, has a known lead time. And so far, I think the most obvious demographic change is the aging of our population. And I think most of us heard about the recent news about the postponement of our retirement time. And so actually, this is a global phenomenon in developed countries. It occurred about half century. In China, the aging of our population started relatively late, but we catch up at a very high speed. And according to World Health Organization, by the year of 2050, well, actually it's not so far from now, 1/3 of Chinese population would be over 60. And that could be a huge challenge, how we can take care of the 1/3 of our, big population. And one thing we need to realize at that time, most of the older people will need to ensure that they can live independently at home for as long as possible because of the low birth rate and also modern lifestyle make it inevitable. And in this case, we want to ensure that these older people, when they don't have close family members or professional caretakers around them, they can live happily. They can live healthily first and happily and age gracefully. And from the perspective of human-computer interaction, we believe that new smart technologies may help, like mobile computing, ubiquitous computing, or all those remote healthcare or intelligent systems may contribute. But how do these systems know about what happens to the old people? What is the current status? And what they need? All this we need to track or monitor somehow the older people, their movement, their physical activity, and their health status. And in this case, wearable devices are very important system components in this technology that are supposed to support older people aging in place or aging at home. Well, here is the potential for wearable devices to monitor older people's status throughout the day depend on a very important premise or assumption. That is, the older people are willing to wear it throughout the day. But that may not always be the case. According to a relatively late but still relevant report, 75% of the older people stopped using their wearable devices after 1 month. Well, and that's if they stop to wear it or they don't wear it throughout the day, then we don't know about their physical status or important health data cannot be supplied to those smart systems. So as a researcher from the human factors background, first we want to understand why. Why this happen? So does it mean that the wearable devices are not so useful for them, or they are concerned about being monitored, or so why? And then we want to promote some change by supplying how. We want to provide research-based design guidelines, tools, and data so designers can have some help to produce devices that can truly benefit older people. And these are the research motivations of the project I'm going to introduce in this presentation. And so we start, and it's a long-term project, but I mainly start with introduce the first part, our effort to attempt to understand why. We decompose the why problem into three smaller issues. The first one is, how does older people make use of these devices? And how does the usage behavior change during the first month when they got the device? And the second, from the designer point of view, it's very important to know what makes them want to continue use or discontinue use. And what design factors of wearable devices may affect this decision. And finally, what are the specific implications for designers that we can improve the design? So we start, as usual, this research from literature review. We first identify 5 major design factors that may matter. Okay. Of course, the first one is functionality. Does the device provide useful functions for older people? And second, ease of use. The function could be useful, but it's too difficult to use, and older people want to use it. Third, varying comfort or variability, because you are supposed to wear the device for the whole day. So any discomfort can become a real irritation after such a long time. And for safety and credibility, people may concern whether it's safe to wear or attach a device to my body for such a long time. Is there any physical risk, privacy, or data risks? And third, aesthetics. And this wearable devices are often become part of our overall apparel, and so the attractiveness of appearance may matter. And these factors, we assume that they may influence the adoption tension through their influence on perceived values. The values can be, roughly classified into utilitarian values or hedonic values. So the first one, by definition, functional properties can influence utilitarian value, that's a perceived functionality benefits. But there are so many different properties of a wearable device. It's really not possible to research with this kind of so many items. So we need to conceptualize the functional properties of the wearable devices at a higher level. So here we introduce the concept of affordance. I think that's everybody knows in the room from the design department knows what it is. So it's an action possibilities enabled by the technology for the user. And in this way, so we identify 4 major affordances of wearable devices. So by using a wearable device, you can monitor your health, monitor your physical activity level, can receive notifications from other devices like your mobile phone, and also can have access to some convenient tools like time reminder, weather report, or flashlight. So the hedonic value or the enjoyment of using can be influenced by those experiential properties we just identify. But specifically, we also consider that the first three experiential properties may also influence utilitarian value. For example, like the function could be very useful, but it's difficult to use. Still, this can harm the utilitarian value. Okay, and then we try to validate our assumption or thinking about the factors. Are they really true or not, or what are not discovered through the literature review? We collect data through a 4-week study, and during the pre-use interview, we invited 29 older participants, and 20 of them volunteered to join the study. Each of them was assigned a device so they can use at home for 4 weeks. And we collect data at 5 time points. The first one is a baseline interview. The first day they were invited to our lab. We introduced them the device and the purpose of the study, the device they are going to use, and also to demonstrate, teach them how to use it as a starter, and also interview them about the features after they have been demoed. So what do they think about them? Do they want them or not? And why? And then they can take the device back home for use for 4 weeks. And at the end of each week, we will arrange a face-to-face meeting. And during this meeting, we will interview them about what feature you used in the last week, and which features you use on a daily basis, and what do you like or dislike? What are the benefits you get from the device? If there's any behavioral change caused by the device, and also we ask them to rank the relative importance of the affordances. And at the end of each interview, they will need to complete a questionnaire mirroring those constructs we have proposed in our theoretical framework, including their rating of the affordances, experiential properties, perceived value, and their adoption intention. So first thing we want to find is their usage pattern, and really find that the people's usage pattern change over time. Among the 4 affordances, health data monitoring was the most expected affordance before actual use. Actually, nearly all of the participants considered it exciting when they were demoed during the baseline interview. But the usage pattern actually decreased over time. And we can see here at the end of the first week, okay, although the majority of them still use that, but the people who use it on a daily basis was less than half. And among these 9 participants, 4 of them have chronic disease problems. So that's justify their usage. And 4 of them use that to monitor not their physical, but their mental well-being. They say, oh, maybe I'm too stressed, too tired, too anxious. So maybe my heart rate can tell me about that. I don't know if it's the right use of this data, but that's the way they make sense of the data. And only 1 participant used that to monitor the heart rate change during exercise. And I think this is the way most of the younger people use it. Yeah, we use it to monitor our exercise intensity. And the second affordance, physical activity monitoring, was also highly expected, but also with a declined use. And more interestingly, because we want to understand if using this device can promote their physical activity level. So we check their step counts at every weekly meeting. And here you can see the results at the bottom. Is there any improvement? Absolutely no improvement. Okay. But the reason of no improvement is that older people just don't think there's a need for improve. I at our age, moderate lifestyle is good. So there's no need for improve. And some of them, a couple of them, even use this function to limit the step counts. So I have knee problems. I think this function is useful, so I know I can't walk too many steps, and that's harmful for my knees. So that's kind of unexpected use. And the last two affordance, they are not so expected before the use, but actually over time, both of them were discovered to be useful, especially the receiving core, so you can receiving notifications from your phone on your wrist, and many older people find it really useful. And there's a lot of convenient tools provided by the wearable device, but 3 of them, time display, time reminder, and a weather report, are particularly considered useful. So also, in addition to their usage pattern, we also ask them to report what benefits you get from the device. And here we can see health monitoring is always the most appreciated and considered most important benefits they can get. Although there's still a slow decline over time, and because they find the data sometimes they just cannot understand. Some of the participants complain, well, I try to monitor my heart rate every day for the first week, but I don't understand what it means, so I give up. Okay. And after 4 weeks, we can see that notification, daily convenience support, they are more acknowledged. But interesting to note that physical activity monitoring was mentioned the least, and also when we asked to rank the relative importance at the end of the 4th week, it also ranked the last. Okay. Also, we interview about them, what are the problems or your dislikes or complaints about the device. From their complaints, we can identify 3 major issues. One is interface usability. So here we can see at the end of the 1st week, people complain it's difficult to understand the interface, difficult to synchronize with my phone, too many unnecessary features. I cannot find the one I want to use. And after 4 weeks, however, you may see that there's a big drop in difficulty in understanding interfaces. But we need to be very cautious about the drop. Why the drop? Why not so many complaints about usability anymore? One reason is they learn how to use some features over time. Another reason, and which was true in our cases, in our study, is many participants simply give up the features they don't know how to find or how to use. For example, time reminder. Like I can set a reminder to remind me to take medicine or to do something, was found very helpful during the baseline meeting, and everybody want to try that. But somehow the operation was too complex for them. Even after the researcher demo how to do that side by side, and many of them cannot replicate the process, so they just give up. Another one is to find my phone. Okay, that's also another. And a majority of the participants found it very useful, but very few of them really use that. And we asked them why. The reasons were simple. Oh, we just don't know where to find this function. It's a lot of features. I don't know where to find it. Okay, and so the second issue we find that function not addressing user needs. Sorry. Okay, I will. Okay. So reported. So there's particularly this about health data monitoring. So people are really disappointed, like they have high expectation, but no satisfying their need. Finally, varying comfort, and this one is very consistent from the 5 participants from the 1st week to the last week. They always complain about the variability problem, and because of this, they limit their time of varying, and that's also limit the functionality of the device. So I think I have a limited time, so I just give some regression analysis, just come to the conclusion of the study. So we find there's a large gap between the pre-use anticipation and the actual usage and experiences. So we need to design for long-term and the continuous use. We need to take care of the following factors which may be critical at different stages, okay, of use. First, health data monitoring is the reason that why they want to accept and also most expected, but the current design just does not satisfy their needs so well. And second, ease of use. It's very important at the initial stage to ensure functions can be found and learned. And the varying comfort is very important in the over the extended term use. And finally, there may be some cultural specific issues in our finding. For example, like older people prefer a moderate lifestyle, and also they concern more about physical risks rather than privacy risks of wearable devices. And that could be, well, the previous studies in Western countries did not find such things. And so, actually, we have a series of follow-up studies to investigate into the details about how we can improve the navigation design, information display, how we can develop tools to allow a designer to assess comfort or provide some quantitative reference so they know the comfort, discomfort, pressure range in their design. But I think that due to the time, can we just jump to the last slide? Okay, sorry. Okay. It's a lot. Yeah, this one, Sam. I think that's very important to really understand needs, and from our point of view, human needs. And so, so based on we have, and something I want to address the question raised by Professor Hao. Okay, so whether AI will replace the designers? Well, of course, my background is not really design. I come from engineering background, but I believe no. And in addition to many cases, there's one thing very special in today's technology design, because the technology design and human practices, actually, they are continually shaping each other. Like older people have the device, but they change their practice, but they have somehow have new needs or unsatisfied needs. And this kind of co-evolution, I don't think it can easily be and how we can understand this co-evolution and make better sense of that and germinate more innovations. I think that it really requires continuous and cross-disciplinary effort from human designers, researchers, and engineers. Thank you very much. Yeah. Okay.